are you being confident in who you are? Not only are you being confident in who you are, but is who you are truly aligned with your authentic essence?
Oh, she just threw that side swipe.
Let's go really into this one.
Well, funny, because I said, when Moira said we're talking about being confident in who I am, I went, oh, without being an ass.
Yes, that is, she did say that.
It was like, okay, yep, righto, Deborah, without being an ass, because you can be an ass.
You can.
You can be, being confident can be a-holeville. But it also, the purpose of being confident in who you are is to still be humble, aware,
very much so.
Awake, and confident.
Debz is a stressologist. She will stretch your mindset to think bigger than you've ever thought before, with follow-through techniques that are realistic and achievable to blow any fear out of your mind. Moira is a mindset cultivator. She will help you align your personal trinity of self-trust, inner awareness, and self-confidence so that you discover and share your unique gifts and purpose. Together, their goal with these conversations is to share how our inclinations do not always work in our best interest and to provide the knowledge to leverage the gifts that already exist within each one of us. Their desire is to help you learn how to access the habits and behaviors that will lead to positive change and your best quality of life. Welcome to your deliciously motivated mindset.
Greetings, dear friends. Hello, dear listeners. Hello, dear Deb.
Hello.
Hello. Here we are with another deliciously motivating mindset conversation with dear Deb. That's Deb over there.
Me. Hello.
And Moira, that's me. We have a great conversation planned for today. Well, I say that, we haven't even started it yet. We don't actually prepare what we're talking about. We just know the topic and then we kind of riff from there. This is just how we roll.
I think all our teachers growing up always said to me, you must prepare for your test, you must prepare for this, you must. I'm like, yeah, it's in there. I know it's all in there.
It's all
it's going to come out.
I trust. We trust.
Yeah.
But dear listeners, if you've been with us before, you know that we like to do a little check-in and use our assessment tool. And what this is that we rate ourselves on a scale of 0 to 10. 0 is when you're calm, neutral, poised, zened out, feeling really peaceful. And 10 is when things are a bit maybe crazy making, chaotic, feeling stuck, not quite sure what to do. And the truth is we all move up and down these scales. And so it's about checking in with your emotions, checking in with your mental state, and just assessing. And so we like to give ourselves a number at the beginning of our conversation. And then we encourage you to do a wee check-in when there's the halftime in our conversation, and then we'll check back in again with you at the end. So all that being said, where would you put yourself, my dear?
And this is where I go, that's right, I've got to do this thing.
Darn, I've got to come up with a number.
And she starts talking and I'm like, oh, that's right. I knew there was something I needed to do before we started. I'm going to say a 1 right now. I would have, when we first spoke, when we first jumped on a call, before I jumped on a call, I would have been a 3 or so. But definitely now a 1, which is interesting because I went, why have you gone from a 3 to a 1? Overanalyzer, Deborah. Why did you go from a 3 to 1? What did we actually specifically resolve in your world? And I'm like, nothing. I didn't have anything screaming that needed to be resolved, but it was just the flow of conversation. So I've gone from a 3. Oh no, I did resolve that house thing. Yeah.
There you go.
So there's
see, listeners, we always sit and talk for about an hour before we go, oh, what are we talking about today? To record.
Yes.
So even if we get on a call ourselves feeling like a 3 or a 5, we often have brought ourselves down into a lot more calmness before we get into this. But I'm really looking forward to this conversation, being confident in who I am. And so for me to feel into that, I'm going to put myself at a 1.5. I was going to give myself a wee bit higher, but also in our conversation, was really giving myself some space for reflection about some situations that's been going on, and really getting clear on why things are going the way they are and resolving certain things. So, but I'm also intrigued. I've got a wee bit of a scratchy throat happening just as I pressed record here.
I got that too.
Haha, there's something in here.
Yes.
And
I love that. I love that we're both like, oh, where are we at? Oh, we both had a little scratchy.
Yeah. So there's always it for me, when I get something, a little scratchy in my throat, then there's obviously something that I need to explore or verbalize, but it's usually connected with the topic. And so I think this is a really important topic to keep rechecking for all of us to see, are you being confident in who you are? Not only are you being confident in who you are, but is who you are truly aligned with your authentic essence?
Oh, she just threw that side swipe.
Let's go really into this one.
Well, funny, because I said, when Moira said we're talking about being confident in who I am, I went, oh, without being an ass.
Yes, she did say that.
It was like, okay, yep, righto, Deborah, without being an ass, because you can be an ass. You can be, being confident can be a-holeville. But it also, the purpose of being confident in who you are is to still be humble, aware,
very much so,
awake, and confident.
Yes.
And I use the line of confident, the person with the most certainty rules the game.
Yes.
And when I say rules the game, I'm not talking about being an ass. I'm talking about actually takes control of their world, rules their own world, makes their own decisions for them. So that's without being bound or being governed by outside forces. Also being aware that you can't actually live in your bubble forever without outside forces infiltrating your bubble.
Right.
But it's just being confident in who you are and your expectations, your boundaries, those things.
I agree with you. I also think that the reason that I say that this is a question that I think we all need to keep circling back to is that as we evolve and, let go of things that don't serve us or things that were part of the older version of us, because we are always becoming and developing and advancing, right? Transforming.
That's who you were at school.
Yes.
And I know we've been beyond school, but who you were at school, or even who you were at your first job or first relationship, you're not that person anymore. So
exactly. And so that's what I'm saying, is that sometimes it's super important to just stop and pause and say, am I being confident in who I am based upon my own decisions, choices, patterns, beliefs, and not allowing myself to be governed by somebody else's agenda, patterns, dictates, right? Because sometimes we can do that. We can get caught up because, I better do this because that person wants me to do that. Or
even that can, I was just going to say, even that can come from TV. You can watch a movie and then go, oh, I'm going to do that, or that's how I'm going to act, or that's a,
that looks like a workable situation. I'm going to do that.
Yeah. Wasn't there a Jim Carrey movie where he was a yes man or a no man, or something like that? I'm just going to say yes to everything. I'm going to say no. Was it Jim? I don't know. There was a movie or something. I remember seeing it years and years. I'm just going to say yes to everything. I'm just going to say no to everything. Imagine if you walk being confident who I am. Can you do this? No. What? No. Would you like to help me with this? No. There's a different level of confidence in that. Or yes. And if you're a yes man, you are going to get burnt out.
Yes, you are, absolutely. But that's a really good point to bring into this conversation, Deb, is the being confident in who you are. No, being confident in who you are means that you authentically and courageously and correctly say yes when that is what you need. And you also, with the same amount of confidence, say no when that's the right one for you.
Absolutely. And also being aware that today's yes may have been a no yesterday.
Precisely.
Or an hour later
Mhm.
could have been something. It depends on how crazy your mind can run into that marathon, really.
And what's going on with you. I mean, you and I have often talked about the 4 agreements. That kind of comes in here too, right? The being impeccable with your word means you say yes at the right time and no at the right time.
Obligation. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. but the thing is not assuming, not taking things personally, and always doing your best. That's like the summation of the four agreements.
That's
Totally.
exactly being confident in who I am.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. But you know, the other piece, I know you've got a thought right there, but one other piece I wanted to bring into this too. And remember, I've talked about that, about asking yourself those 3 questions that I suggest people use is this good for me? Right?
Yeah,
Is this
look at my
choice?
piece of paper on my computer. Yeah.
Is this good for me? You know, making this choice, saying yes to this or saying no to this. Is this good for me? The next one is this good for the other or the others? Yes or no? And the last one is, do I want to?
So if you didn't write that down, quickly pause the podcast, go get a pen, a pen.
Oh, I should have said that at the beginning. Get a pen and paper.
Get a pen and paper and write that down.
Yeah,
Is
the 3
this good
questions.
for me?
Is this good for me? Is this good for the other or the others? And do I want to? And here's the thing. To be confident in who you are, you have to have a yes to all 3 of those questions. Because if you're doing something because, yes, it's good for me, but it's not good for the other, and I don't really want to do it, that's not really going to give you confidence.
Well, it's just going to burn you out, and and you're going to get that slap. Something's going to happen to you. You're going to get a slap and you go, oh, I should have read those signs, or I should have seen that, or why did I do that? I'm going to beat myself up again.
Or I knew I shouldn't have done that, but I went along.
I knew it was the wrong decision to do, but I did it. And guarantee everybody, think of a moment when you've done that. Oh, wake up. I've got that. Yes. So
because we've all got examples of those.
Yeah. There was a no in those 3 questions from that moment. Memory recall. Yeah,
absolutely.
I love that those 3 questions, and they are in a little love heart on my computer. Those 3 questions are so simple. And when you answer those 3 questions, answer straight away. Don't go, is this good for me? Let me think about it. Let me get my pen and paper out and work out the pros and cons and just check in with a few other people and do this. And next thing you know, you're 7 hours in on the one question, is this good for me? No, because I've just spent 7 hours analyzing and I still have no answer. You already know if it's good for you. Like, you already know if it's good for others.
That's a great perspective. And I'm really glad that you brought that up, because if you went down those rabbit holes and did that 7 hours, you have totally lost, because you've got totally stuck into the thinking. When we react really quickly, you want to come from your heart. Maybe you need to even stick your hand over your heart and say, is this good for me? Yes or no? Right there. That's it. No thinking.
But no, forget that but.
Exactly.
Stop with the but.
Don't go for the yeah buts. No yeah buts.
Yeah. If you want to say but, rub your butt. But, and you can feel yourself and you're grounding yourself going, yeah, no, there's a butt there, or we're just going to leave the butt on my butt.
Pat your butt.
But I think, being confident in who I am, going back to when I said without being an ass, you can be an ass. Are we allowed to say ass?
Of course we are. It's our show.
Ass. Okay, for all the people who've got children or don't like that word,
you can bleep it out.
Oh yeah, I was just going to say, I was going to use something else. I'm like, no, that's way worse than.
Yeah, no, don't do that.
Don't be a tosspot. Can I say that? Don't be a tosspot. She didn't even know what tosspot stands for. Don't be an ass. So when we're doing this, being confident in who I am, just remember, you're dealing with humans.
Yes.
We are in a human world. So when you're dealing with others, it's not up for you to control their emotions. That's not here for you, because that can, you can't handle how people react. But don't, like, just come across from not an empathetic way, just come from a humble place. Just go, okay, this is what's happening. You don't have to explain anything. You don't have to go down the whole shame and guilt and because of this and the whole story saga that sounds like a marathon and someone's already switched off, and just say, we could have just said no. Exactly. God, you've made me listen to you for 7 minutes. I've got better things. Don't need to find who else I can get now.
Could have just said no. I would have got that.
Yeah. It is the shame and guilt. Oh, I know you've helped me last time and I can't do this. And I want to, being a people pleaser, a yes person, any of those things will burn you out unless that stuff that you're doing lights you up.
Yeah.
But if you're doing any of that stuff, and if you're actually, even the word people pleaser comes into your mind, that's just, you're downhill already. You're going downhill. So jump off that slope and get yourself back to being confident in who you are.
Absolutely. Well, the thing is that, and people pleasers, all people pleasers, myself included, if we put other people's needs above our own for long enough, and we keep doing that, resentment starts. Right, bitterness. We start to bitterness, resentment. What's wrong with these people? They don't see all these sacrifices I'm making and all these things that I do for them.
Your health conditions will explode.
They will
say that, because bitterness comes from.
Yes, it does.
Or health conditions come from. Not all health conditions. Oh, there's a little bit in there, but that's another podcast.
That's another topic. But in what you were saying about don't be an arse. See, I said it now too.
Oh, good. You said it so cutely. Arse.
An arse. That's my accent.
It sounds really cute when you say it.
But it reminded me of part of the conversation we had before we even hit record today about, I believe that all
we were talking about your husband.
Oh, that being an arse?
No, we weren't. No, we weren't. Just for the record, we weren't. That was just in case he listens.
As if.
Yeah.
No, about being courteous. Being courteous. So, if you're feeling obnoxious or being, mean or disrespectful, hold on to it. Deal with your own stuff.
Back away.
Yeah.
Back away.
Yeah. It's
and
something about yourself. You that's going on.
Yeah.
But then come from a place of, even when you say no to something, you can do it with courtesy. You may want to say, no, it doesn't work for me right now.
You just reminded me of New Year's Eve. We went to family friend's house and I met this beautiful woman, Christine. She was so funny. She was so funny. And someone said to me, can you do something? And I went, no. And then I just turned away and I carried on with the conversation. She at the end of my conversation, she said to me, did you say no to them? I said, yeah. She goes, but you just said no and pretty much let it go. I said, I didn't want to do it. And I was involved in a conversation. I would have said no or something and padded it up, maybe. Right. But I was just like, and I wasn't drinking. So there was definitely, it was still unfiltered Deborah, but not fully unfiltered Deborah, But she just said, wow, you said no. You just went no. You looked at them and you said no very firmly, that they both went, okay. And then you carried on with your conversation. And she goes, I don't even think the last time. She said, I just fell in love with you. It's very funny. She's like, I don't think I've ever said no to people. And I was like, what do you mean you've never said no? We had this full-on discussion that we started practicing around the table that we're sitting in. There was probably 10 or 15 of us that we started saying no. Good. So it was really funny. Oh, can you go shopping with me? No. And I said, you've just got to have that firm face. And so we practice it. Anyway, 2 days later, she said to me, I said my first no. She sent me a message via Facebook. I said my first no. I'm very excited. I'm going to start practicing. I can't remember what she said it for. But it was interesting because she was mortified, or not mortified, more shocked that I went no and just carried on with my conversation with somebody else.
Right.
I wasn't rude. She didn't say you were rude. You just were just, that was it.
You just knew you. You just knew. And
yeah, I was confident in who I am. It was
but you were being courteous too.
Yes.
Right. So you didn't need to owe them any kind of explanation or anything. It's just no.
No, and so it was really interesting. I sat there and I was like, what do you mean you've never said, you can't remember the last time you said no? I was like, what do you mean you can't? Like, huh? I was really perplexed by that. And we were both at the extreme of, I couldn't understand how she's never said no.
That's hilarious. So it makes you think that she's probably quite the people pleaser though, right?
Yeah. And so we took, yeah, but she sometimes she actually often sends me a message. Guess what I said no to today?
That's awesome.
She's super cute. But it didn't, and I wasn't disrespectful to the people. I remember the situation. I can't remember what they asked me, but it was like, no. I didn't even think I said no, thank you. It was like, no. And then just turned around and carried on talking. And she was just sat there going, wow, that woman who's new to this environment has just literally said no,
right,
very firmly. And that conversation was shut down. Like, I don't know what it was, the thing. But I do remember that. And it was interesting how much, like, to our listeners now, when was the last time you actually said no and felt firm about it? Mm-hmm. And did you have any shame and guilt about it?
And felt confident. That's a big piece about being confident in who you are.
Mm.
Because so for me, I like to put a bit of softness or a bit of laughter or both and make Debz snort. I like to, I'll do things like if somebody asks me to do something and I'll be, no, sorry, not sorry.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, sorry, not sorry.
Yeah, sorry, not sorry.
Oh, that's cute. I like that though.
And it because it lightens it all up.
Yeah.
But it didn't dilute the fact that I said no. No, sorry, not sorry. It was,
I think it's finding what works for you.
Yeah.
And I mean, I would probably like to think I would have said, oh, no, thank you, that doesn't interest me or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
There's different ways you can do it, but it was literally, I do remember, and I just saw her out of the corner of my eye, her mouth just dropped open.
That's called gobsmacked. Yeah, I don't know if do you call it gobsmacked over there?
That's an emoji right then.
Yeah.
But that was, and so much so that she then had to have that conversation with me. But it was a perfect conversation because it showed her you can be confident in who you are.
Yeah. No, that's really cool.
One of my dear lovely people, her ex partner said to her recently, I drove past you standing on the street, you're effing hot. And she said, oh my God, I so want to respond to this. I said, have you not just gone, I know?
A quick wee message before we get back to this episode. You can get access to a special gift Moira and Debz have put together for you. Go to deliciouslymotivatedmindset.com/gift. When you sign up, you'll receive instant access to an inner peace kit and the 30 Days of Wisdom program, both of which is intended to help you feel deliciously motivated right away. Go to deliciouslymotivatedmindset.com/gift.
That would be the best thing.
I know.
I know.
And she was like, no, Deborah, I didn't. I just ignored it. And I'm like, oh, I just wanted to respond back. I know. And so that's another big confident who I am. You're effing hot. I know. Well, clearly the day, there's definitely days when you're not looking as hot as other days. But yeah, I just had to giggle. I'm like, did you not say I know? She's like, no, Deborah, we don't all think like you. I'm like, I bet you do. And she
just haven't got the verbiage yet.
Yeah, it was quite a funny one because, I was like, being confident in who you are. Oh, you're hot. I know. Thank you. And so, and that just shuts that whole thing down. There's no thank you.
Yeah.
Acknowledging it. Yeah. But not letting it get to your head if something like that happens.
Those kind of things can be quite a confidence booster.
Yeah.
But own it. I love what I don't know that I've ever done that of saying, I know. Maybe I have. I'm thinking about that. No, I think I have.
I do it often.
Not as much as you, I'm sure.
I do it often. If I was to say to my partner, the conversation, she'll say, oh, you're really good at this. I know. Thank you. But not in an ass way.
Right.
Yeah. But like, I know. But like, thank you.
Right. And that's the key piece. I know, but thank you is because you do need to appreciate it. But it's also And you know what I really like about that too, is because on the flip side, I've seen so many people that will do, oh, that was nothing, or no,
Oh, that drives me insane.
I know. It's like, no, just own it. Own and accept it. Because, when we attract a acknowledgement or appreciation that way, it's a gift. And we are undermining it from that person, but us also undermining the receiving of it, which is a profound confidence boost in essence.
Do you find people, yes, I just heard what you're saying, yes. Do you find people, if you say that's a lovely top, or hang on, you're good at this, or that's a lovely top, there's the people who go, oh, but I love your top too.
Oh, yes.
Or you receive and you go, oh, this old thing, this tattered old thing.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Woman, don't say that, please. I'm going to slap you through the podcast. But, when you say to somebody, oh, you're really good at this, and they go, oh, so are you. No. But there's people out there who throw those lines expecting a response.
Yes.
Or they're seeking that gratification to come back to them.
But then there's people who can't receive it because they immediately bat it back to you, right? So if you say to somebody, oh, you're really good at that, and they say, oh, but so are you, well, maybe I am really good at it, but I'm actually working on acknowledging.
That's when they say, but Moira, so are you, and you go, I know.
There you go.
I know. Yes, you're correct. And that's the end of that conversation.
And but then I receive it and I know, but they didn't.
Yeah,
right?
they've completely didn't hear
exactly
what you've said. They haven't.
They batted it back to you, and it's like, well, yeah,
absolutely.
I know. Yeah, so that's why I'm saying it's really important to say thanks. I know. Even if you can't
even thanks.
Yeah, even just thanks.
Force out a thanks if you have to. Yeah. Everything clenches inside. Thanks just shuts it down. You don't have to go, oh, this old thing, and beat yourself up. Yeah. Thanks just stops the whole ooze of uncomfortableness between everyone. I don't give compliments to make you feel good. Yeah. I'm not. It's because
you mean it.
I mean it. If I genuinely think you're amazing at that, I will tell you. We talk about this. In fact, I was in a cafe on Sunday with my partner and the mother-in-law, and I call it that. I don't know.
The mother-in-law.
The mother-in-law. That sounds wrong. That sounds really harsh. I didn't know what to really call her, Sandra. And we were leaving. We're like, okay, we're finished. And I went the long way around. And Sandra said, "Where's she going?" Because the exit was like 4 paces that way, and I went the long way around. And she'll be. And Trace said, "Oh, she'll be thanking the cafe owners." And I heard it out the corner of my eye. I was going to say, Matt, I heard it and I giggled because I thought, I'm taking the plates up. And I went to the cafe and I said, "Thank you so much. That was delicious. I really love the way you've done it." Yeah. I had a ham and egg sandwich and damn, it was good. And I really, and she's like, "Oh, thank you so much." She was a beautiful, little tiny older Asian woman. She was just, and her whole face just lit up. Now, I didn't do that to make her feel better. I did that because I felt the love of that sandwich that I ate. And it made me feel great. So I was passing that on. I didn't do that to make her feel any better of her good day or bad day or anything. I did that because I loved what I ate. So I felt the urge to share that.
You wanted to share the appreciation. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's another level of being confident in who I am, to be able to go up and just say, "Thank you, that was delicious," or "Thank you."
Yeah.
But I also said, "Thank you, that was delicious because of this, this, and this."
Yeah.
And then I giggled. Well, I didn't giggle. Then I got to the car and Sandra's like, "I can't believe, do you do that to everywhere?" And Tracy's like, "Yeah, pretty much. If she really likes her food, she'll let everybody know." and it was, and so then when I was driving to the next place we're going to, I started going, I do that. I don't like to give out, and that's to me is being confident who I am. That I think it's valid to give you that, but I'm not, I'm not going to go and, I just think it's a nice thing to do. I'm not doing it to make you feel better, but it was a yummy, scrummy sandwich. That's all. Just a sandwich.
So you see, the thing that says to me is that you are being confident in who you are, but you're also expressing the appreciation for your experience. And I think that comes with confidence. When you sort of say, wow, that was great. I love saying, thanks, sweetheart, or you're awesome. To even to and I do use terms of endearment where people kind of go, oh, you just called the cashier my dear.
I hate it when you go into a shop and they go, hi guys. I'm like,
oh no, I'm not a guy.
That drives me. And I can see my daughter, her shoulders just tense right up. So say, Mum, don't say anything. Mum. And she'll just look at me like, Mum, don't say, I'm not a guy, but thank you. And she's like, Mum, don't educate them. Don't, Mum. It's the era. Could you just give me that look? But I think being that confident, I think when you have something that feels right, you can definitely thank them.
Yeah.
For that.
Yeah. Or just even, I really appreciate whatever it is.
And you don't have to have a whole, you go to a shop and you say thank you and you leave. That's one of the things I have been called on it before, that if I leave a restaurant, I'll go, thank you. Deborah's leaving the building. Thank you. She waves the royal
wave as she exits the building.
Yeah, but it doesn't have to be like a massive restaurant, but sometimes I'll do that if it's a small little cafe or something. Thank you, as I'm leaving. But I try and make the effort of putting my plates up anyway, and especially during these times. These special times that we're dealing with. But I think being confident who I am, I'm not doing that. I'm not thanking them for them to seek some sort of validation for me to go, oh, thank you very much for this sandwich. It was delicious. Oh, that's a lovely top you're wearing. Be like, what? Why are you saying that? I'm talking about the sandwich. Like I'm not right. Wanting that ball back.
Not needing it to be batted back to you. And do you know what I think is something that just occurred to me when you're hearing that is it's about being appreciative, however you do it, doesn't mean you're asking for approval. Because that back can actually, if that's what you're doing it for, the expectation, it's maybe a sense of approval. Did I do it enough? Did I make you feel happy? Did I propitiate to you enough? To, right?
Well, what just came to me is about that being confident who you are is you can't lie.
Yes, very true. Because you're being authentically you
and real. Do you want to do that? No, thank you. Like, I'd love to do that. Your whole body's going to tell you no, but you're not going to be confident if you're lying.
Exactly.
Because that's acting, drama, put on your actor skills, which is only going to look great on the outside, but inside your body's going to go, I don't want to do that. Your mind's going to go, yuck. You're going to have all those tunings. So being confident who you are is being honest, authentic, and transparent.
Absolutely.
Actually. So
funny story to share, something that just landed for me was
Moira's got the biggest grin on her face.
Well, it's this funny story. It's a funny story about being transparent and honest. I can remember having a conversation with my dad, and this is when I was like maybe mid-teens, where he always thought I was a terrible liar.
Oh, really?
Yeah, well, because anytime I tried to lie or tried to get away with something, my face would go beetroot red. Like, I swear I'd flush from the hair roots.
Mine used to be my neck. Mine just used to be my neck.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
no, mine was my neck, my entire body. And so, of course, he would know there, Moira's telling a lie again. Whereas my sister, she was the one who lied. And she was really freaking good at it.
Oh,
and
really?
She could do it barefaced, straight up, and tell the most incredible stories. And so this is a part of us growing up together, that his thought was Moira's tells untruths all the time. Whereas Moira would try and get away with things and then just like, and they're just small, silly things, right? Well, yes, I did do the dishes, and yes, I did dry them up and put them away.
Isn't that sibling? Isn't that what happens? There's that opposite.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah.
Yeah. But when he figured out, it blew his mind, because he realized I always was really telling the truth. And that these instances where he caught me in something, I was going to get caught anyways, because I can't do that, right? But then it made him second guess everything about my sibling, because it was like, I have no tell.
Yeah.
I think it's the tell, right?
Yeah. That's flipping funny. That's funny. I've been told I'm too transparent. I'm too honest.
I've been told that too.
But recently, and I'm like, well, you want people to be honest. They're like, yeah, but sometimes you're just too honest. Too honest. I'm like, well, what's too honest? You asked my opinion. Just your expectations are whatever. I'm confident in who I am. You asked me, I'm going to tell you. Yep. If you're asking me, you're preparing yourself for my honest answer.
Yep.
But recently we were out and we were doing something secretive, and the neighbor asked us something, and out just came this little lie to me, and it was very straight to the point. Boom, did. And then we moved to another conversation, and we got inside, and my partner said to me, holy moly, you lied. Like you just lied. You looked that woman in the eye and you just lied. Like you lied and you didn't even flinch. I watched your face and you just lied. And then you just carried on, and then you just changed the conversation. The woman didn't even know that you lied. I just heard you lie. And she was like bamboozled. I'm like, yeah, it was fine. But it was a lie that wasn't like, it wasn't an unhealthy lie. Like, wasn't an unhealthy lie. It was just, I just lied to make everybody feel a little bit more protected, and it wasn't a time to be transparent. And just like, yeah, but you just kept that as a straight face. And now I have to think about other times you've said things to me. I'm like, you can overanalyze everything you want. You can honestly, but one of the things you've said to me is, Deborah, you're honestly too honest most of the time. And what's just happened is you just see me lie. Straight out, blatant. That was it. But that was a protective lie. Mm-hmm. And I still have no shame or guilt associated with that. The woman would be none the wiser unless she listens to my podcast, and she still wouldn't piece it together. I don't think she knows my name anyway. But it's an interesting how being confident who you are, when you are a liar, you do go through that. This is it. But you're so fixated on that story that story gets more and more elaborate.
Right.
So being confident who you are, speak your truth, be authentic, be honest, and just know the other person is going to receive it their way with whatever their PEMS is going on in their world, because that's important. And our PEMS is, and I point to Moira, our PEMS are
our PEMS. So our PEMS is our well-being on our physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual pillars. And it's super important to just be aware of, where are you? How are you feeling in your body? How are you feeling emotionally? What's going on in your head? And how's your connection to source energy? And our well-being it's this, our well-being is determined by the lowest link on any of those pillars. So if you want to up-level them, you got to up-level, like move the pointer up on the lowest.
However, at the start of our podcast, you would have heard us rate ourselves. Mm-hmm. That's actually your highest level is your 10, which is your chaos.
Yep.
So it's actually flipped around the other way.
Yeah, for these it is flipped around the other way.
But it is exactly that. We rate ourselves at the start of the podcast, and that's purely down to your PEMS as well.
Yeah.
And now, as we're nearing the end of our podcast, we suspect we've trust that you've shifted in your number.
We hope so. That's the intention here.
Yeah, definitely. But that also plays a factor. Oh, that person said that. Oh, that makes sense for that. Oh, and the kahunas, you know what a kahuna is, the things slot into place.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So in saying that, being confident in who I am, Moira, is anything you'd like to say before we sign off? Because unfortunately we're out of time.
We are out of time. The being confident in who I am means taking a pause before you get into your yeses and nos. Use those 3 questions we talked about at the beginning, but above all, focus on your breathing. Put your hand over your heart. Don't allow chaos and crazy stuff around you to derail you, because that can undermine confidence, right?
Yeah.
That's I think it's important. Find your pace, your rhythm. That's such a big boost to confidence.
Yeah, knowing today could be different to tomorrow anyway.
Absolutely.
And I just wrote down the word ownership. Just own it.
Yeah.
Just own it. If you're not feeling up for it, say, I'm not feeling up for it.
Yes.
Like, no. No, thank you. Or,
and
yes,
always
I know.
knowing that no doesn't mean never. It just means no right now.
Yeah, right now, no. Yeah. Oh, nice job. Nice job, Moira. Thank you. So,
Thank
listeners.
you.
So, being confident who I am, you are, we are.
I am, you are, yes.
Oh, yeah. Actually, the other thing is being confident who we are. If we weren't confident who we were, we wouldn't have had this podcast.
That's very true.
Actually, unconfidence makes you stagnant.
It absolutely does.
Ugh.
That would keep you up around a 10 a little bit more.
Yeah.
Yes.
Beyond the 10, yeah. So we were, what was your number to start with?
I was a 1.5 and I think you
Okay.
were a 1, right?
A 1, yeah. So where's your number now? Let's all have a guess. Moira, what number are you now?
0.
Same.
I knew you would be. Good
Same.
conversation. I enjoyed this. This was fun.
It was a lovely one. A lovely conversation. It was a confident conversation.
Confident.
So,
yes.
So listeners, let us know where you're at, where you jump from what to what. And if you are not confident enough putting it into the Facebook group, then private message us.
Exactly.
But be okay. Be okay. Be okay.
And
with anything.
if you need some support, please make sure you reach out to both of us or individually. We can be found on social media, or directly messaging us works too. Perfect.
That's exactly it, because that's what we're here for. We're here to shift your shite. I'll stop swearing now.
Oh dear,
right.
There's another podcast episode.
Yeah, actually, that's a great one.
That's a good one.
Yeah. Okay. Right. Write that down, Moira.
All right, I'll get it.
See, do you like the way I'm confident in who I am, and like ask Moira to write it down?
Tell me to do it.
If I write it down, I'm going to lose it. Yeah. Thank you, listeners, for today. I trust you got some incredible value out of this. We will see you on the next podcast, where you'll hear us. Thank you, Moira, and thanks, Deb.
Thank you, dear Deb. Thanks, listeners.
That's our deliciously motivated mindset. Signing off. Thank you.
Over and out. Bye.
Bye.